get the taxi number.
What's up, gang?
Yo.
Is Brightside here? Brightside? Anyone Brightside? Also, don't worry about that. Adder, Omni, what's up, boys? Glad to see you. Yeah, I think this weekend I'm probably gonna maybe dip a little bit into Assetto Corsa and make sure that I got all that set up. Tony was saying it was really easy. He got it all going yesterday and sent me a video of him money shifting on Spa and just blowing his motor in VR. So yeah, it seems like it's pretty cool. Beyonce is changing the headlights on her WRX, and I heard power tools. Hell yeah, dude.
Does that imply that you should not have heard power tools? Probably.
You can definitely do that without power tools.
It sounds like a hand tool job for sure.
Yeah. The worry is like maybe you over torque something or strip a bolt, and then you got to replace more than just. Then you got to do some welding at her. Could be a good excuse to break out the welder. Yeah, there were impact noises. Oh no! Oh no, dude! Oh, that's. Well, she's gonna be okay. You know, you do it once and you're gonna learn. Oh shit, dude, that's crazy. So yeah, I'm interested in it. Pardon me. I was talking to Burnout about it, and he was saying like Assetto Corsa is far and away the best sim, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to race against randoms, you know. I like GT because it's a good game, and you know, like I know you have to turn Assetto Corsa into a fun time with certain mods and like the people you're playing with and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean I'm opposed to it. I mean, like I don't have a PSVR 2, so I'm not playing GT7 in VR. That's a huge difference. So I think Assetto Corsa with robust multiplayer, a bigger group of people to play with, you know, that's all very appealing.
For what it's worth, I've never played Assetto Corsa with a random person. Yeah, so you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to. I mean, when I play GT7, I don't play with randoms. And I was trying to explain to him, I was like, dude, if I'm gonna sit down and like drive in a sim and try to like focus on fundamentals and like do cool shit, I don't want to have someone who's having a bad race ruin mine and just fucking ruin the fun time for everyone else. Like, I want to actually race. And for what it's worth, you know, Omni only torpedoed me a couple times when I was ahead of him. So, you know, and he apologized immediately. And then there was one time when I really overcooked it, and he had a good line, and I just like T-boned him straight into the fucking gravel trap. I felt bad about that one.
Or do you guys just play like Hot Lap and then just like set up a playlist of tracks or something? Like that's what we used to do.
Only beat by iRacing. Yeah, I like Hot Laps, Tony. That's my favorite for doing grippy stuff.
Because I know with AC2, like there's a little bit of jankiness with like somebody has to start the race and then other people have to join it. And if you're just doing like Hot Lap, then people can kind of just like drop in and drop out.
Mm-hmm. I love that shit.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey Anna, how you doing? I'm assuming you came through because of the Bungie news, or did you come through just to see us wonderful humans that you like so much? Let's see. Assetto Corsa, not competizione, is only beat by iRacing in some situations. iRacing got AC beat in oval racing. So the thing that turns me off from iRacing is from everything I've seen and people I've talked to who actually race cars, Adder, you might feel differently, but the iRacing community is like crazy toxic, and people who participate in iRacing are never really going to race in real life. Yeah, it's like super sweaty. They're really toxic. They prefer that to racing in real life. And I'm just like, I would rather race in real life and use this as like a fun time and a tool to supplement my skills.
The whole like hyper strict like iRacing penalty thing, and there's like no like casual mode and stuff always kind of made me just like never even try it. But
yeah, it's definitely not for you, Tony, because like you're doing it casually. You're trying to have fun. You're not taking it super serious.
Yeah, and it's like you accidentally crash into somebody that you like get your account banned and stuff. Like
yeah, exactly, Adder. If you're sub 50% community level, it's all trolls. Above 50%, it's mega sweaty. To be fair, Gran Turismo ranked is exactly like that too. When you start out, you have to wade through elo hell, and when you get out, then you actually get good races. But like the lower half is just absolute horrible. Your cold winter is here in Rio. Oh yeah, that's right. You're on the other hemisphere. I was like, wait, winter? We got summer. 18C 64F. Dude, Anna, I think with my window open right now, it's 67F. I just looked at my space heater. My basement is cold, and outside, oh, it's actually kind of chilly today. It's only like 70F outside.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, so Anna, since you haven't heard the news, this morning on Twitter, Sony and Bungie announced that they were getting rid of the majority of the Destiny team. They're getting rid of some team members working on Marathon, and SIE is getting rid of Bungie support roles. So it's scorched earth. This is the beginning of the end for Bungie. Justin Truman, who was I think he's the CEO that stepped in to replace Pete Parsons, also resigned. I know a lot of people. You know, Adder, for what it's worth, I'm not a fan of Justin Truman. It's a good thing that they got rid of him. Yeah. Plenty of good reasons to get rid of that guy. He was more of the same. So obviously there was a big coming to Jesus conversation about like how Bungie was being run and how it's not making money. It's not a successful business. And on Twitter, you see a lot of Bungie and Destiny fans are really upset. They're shocked. They don't know what's going on. They didn't see this coming. And like the simplest way to see it coming is looking at publicly available information like Steam charts or SteamDB. Yo, Bees, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, bees?
But yeah, you look at the concurrent, user stuff, and you can just watch the trend. And you're like, well, Bungie had a peak on Steam at like 320,000 people or 360,000, something like that. And that was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And then the next highest peak was June 9th at the final content update for Destiny 2. That's not good. That's really not good. Destiny 2's concurrency for months, if not like the greater part of a year, was just above Marathon's concurrency. And Marathon is not doing good either. Like Marathon is below D2. And it has been for a while. It's really, really dark days over there. Assetto Corsa is where it's at. UK and French GT3 servers on AC are great. Lots of very respectful people. Hell yeah, that sounds cool, actually. Yeah, Justin Truman's out. 75% of their creative director and art director team is gone. Yes! Yes! That makes me happy because I know someone who, I've worked with some of the people who've gone into those roles, and they definitely deserve to not have jobs anymore. I was definitely like checking the internet this morning to see if that guy, at least one of the guys that I wanted to no longer be there was impacted. But as soon as you said that, Adder, I know it's true. Holy shit, Guerrilla Games got impacted too? That's crazy. Naughty Dog as well. Yeah, I mean, Sony has to fix their financials, dude. They spent $3.6 billion last year. They just, with Concord a year and a half ago, that fucking exploded. That was a hundreds of millions failure. Yeah, exactly, Anna. The guy who has a job still is the last one who's going to turn off the lights on the way out. Totally right. So yeah, lots of people that I know just lost their jobs at Bungie, for sure. Which reminds me, I just got a text message from one of them.
It looks like Xbox just raised their console prices by quite a bit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Eliminated a 2 terabyte Series X. 1 terabyte Series X is now $800, and 512 gig Series S is $500.
I mean, there was a VGC article that was saying like, industry analysts or whatever were speculating that the floor for console next gen is going to be $1,000 plus.
I've heard that a lot.
I really think that's stupid. It's like, why? I don't understand why they're saying this. Like, why would you guys make that choice when a PC can be bought for just a little bit more? Like that's no consumer is going to make the choice to go to a console for $1,000.
They talked about how they're making that like super high-end console for their next project, and I think they've already talked about how they canceled it, but they were saying that they were targeting like a $1,500 price.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. Like, who the fuck is going to buy a $1,500 console? I mean, the console is meant for like the everyman who's not.
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. So I guess my prediction is that Switch is going to start doing better, and so are the other handhelds. Like Steam Deck is probably going to start doing a lot better. PCs are going to be very entrenched, and it's a very strange future we're looking at right now for the games industry and platforms. I think anyone that remains is probably pretty good for the foreseeable future as we're spinning up a new project. Yeah, exactly, Adder. Console's definitely going to be 1,000 plus. The Steam Machine is. PC gaming is on the up. I'm hyped. Yep, me too. Microsoft and Sony are not going to eat as much of the loss on hardware moving forward. They're both probably talking between themselves on price window. Yeah, actually. I mean, that makes sense. Did they say anything about servers? So yeah, they didn't say anything today about servers, but before the June 9th update, they have said that Destiny 2 isn't getting another content update ever, but the servers will remain online. So my understanding of how it works, Anna, I don't know if this is still the architecture, but back when I was there, the server really only controlled all your like account data. So it would have like your characters and the items they have, your vaults, you know, all the stuff that you've got, right? All of the game simulation runs, you know, in a hybrid format on your local machine, but also like syncs that with a server and multiplayer circumstances. So it's a novel solution. Like the way Destiny works is specific to Bungie.
They did a post that was clarifying what the end of life stuff was going to look like. I'm really trying to find it right now, but the synopsis that I remember is basically like Destiny's on life support. They will definitely take care of any major issue that happens. And they kind of even went as far as to say, like, if something comes up, like a major exploit is found and like people are like deleting raid bosses in 3 seconds or something, we would probably opt to just disable certain weapons or builds as opposed to like fixing them moving forward. So they're like, just to be clear, that's probably going to be what we do. So
Adder says, this is true. It's P2P once in game. They only need a matchmake server for hub and multiplayer. Yeah, and my understanding is that like physics sim and like, you know, gunplay sim, however you want to think about it, the gameplay itself is distributed among the each of the hosts that are in the multiplayer session. So the data center that hosts, you know, stuff, Destiny never used the dedicated server thing, but that server is for like your account and it's like your items and your characters. That's really it. Otherwise it's using P2P architecture for most of the other parts of the game, which is why people complain about it. And they'd be like, wow, this is fucking laggy. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are their servers so bad? And it's like, well, it's not their servers. It's that you're playing in a peer-to-peer match-made game. That's why. It's not intended to be competitive.
yeah, it's basically just like back end off to some extent, right?
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and there's trade-offs for that. Like, this is not an assessment of whether that's good or bad. It's a business decision, ultimately. And yes, you would absolutely have a higher fidelity experience in terms of competitive gameplay with like lower, you know, tick rates and stuff like that, you know, these terms that people want to throw around online talking about shooters. You would have an advantage with dedicated servers. However, the business cost for hosting dedicated servers worldwide for a game as big as Destiny is absurd. It's like a factor of 20 just in monthly operations costs. So it makes more sense to have Destiny run the way it runs. Like I'm you know, working there after I started to understand how it all was put together and how it functioned under the hood. I was like, this actually makes sense. There's no reason to do dedicated servers. This isn't fucking Counter-Strike. It's not Valorant. It's not like, you know, Halo esports. There is no Destiny esport. It was never intended to be an esport. So why would you need that super robust high fidelity experience? You just don't. Yeah, so that's the Bungie news. It is crazy. Like I was saying, you know, it's my Twitter looks pretty nutty. You know, I've got a couple DMs that are going on and stuff. People talking to me about things because, yeah, it sucks. It's a hard experience. So let's see if I've got any. They had a longer statement on Twitter. With great sadness, we're announcing a reduction in force as we reorganize Bungie. As the leaders of Bungie, past and present, we recognize D2 fell short of expectations these past several years. Following our final content update, and with our future projects still in early incubation, we unfortunately could not continue operating at our previous size. We know the decision has a profound impact on the people affected, their families, friends, and teammates. While these changes are necessary to best position the studio now and for the future, it does not lessen the difficulty of this moment or the impact it has on those affected. Later, we will share more about the future with you, but today is not that day. Today, we wish to extend our gratitude and compassion, blah, blah, blah. We hope you do the same. I think the simple truth is that it's going to go one of two ways. Bungie's going to go quiet for the next couple of years and then announce a game. Bungie will close. It's one of those two things. I personally am leaning towards, the more stoic approach of like assuming the worst and hoping for the best, just because that's my personal philosophy. But also included with it, it's because, of this next statement, which is SIE CEO Herman Hulst informed SIE employees of the news today. Today, I want to share a difficult update regarding Bungie. We've made the decision to reduce Bungie's workforce, affecting a significant number of employees, including most of the Destiny team and some Marathon team members. There are also reductions across SIE teams that support Bungie's operations. Those impacted at Bungie are within SIE, and they're being informed today. So this is scorched earth. This is pretty bad. This is not a hey, we got to just make a pivot and cut one of these teams. We're not doing a new expansion, so we'll get rid of the teams that were working on these box products and just keep the live team. That's not what this is at all. This is nobody's going to be working on it. And we don't know what we're doing for the future, but we'll let you know. They do know. They have ideas. They have plans. But it's getting chopped up right now. COD dedicated servers were also hyper optimized so they could run 100 plus instances on a single node. That's super cool. It's bad for the devs, except the one Vince is plotting revenge. I'm not plotting any revenge at all, but yeah, I mean, there are good people who this sucks. It's hard. It's a part of the reason why, from the early days of the stream, I was saying this business is a gig-based business. You work on a product, you ship that product, and you should expect to maybe not have a job after it ships, and you should go look for another job. You should be looking for another job as it's shipping and as you're, as your work is ramping down and you're I don't know what I'm going to do next. You shouldn't expect that you're going to stay on the team. It's just, especially in AAA, it always follows a pattern of a very lean team that builds a prototype, gets funding, they hire up, they build the game out, they get towards closing. As closing approaches, people start to lose jobs. As the game ships, they reduce it to a much smaller team and the process begins again. It's always the way it goes regardless of studio in this industry. Okay, so this painful news, especially for the talented colleagues whose roles have been eliminated. The decision was made only after extensive discussion and careful consideration. Provide some context on how we arrived here. Over the past several months, together with Bungie leadership, we reviewed the studio's long-term direction, development priorities, resource needs, and role within our broader portfolio strategy. So that's where Bungie sits under the Sony umbrella. We explored multiple alternatives before concluding that a reduction was necessary to align the studio's resources with its current priorities and long-term goals. As Bungie recently shared in its D2 update, studios began a new journey following the release of the game's final live service content update. What Bungie has accomplished with Destiny over the past decade has been truly remarkable. Franchise has left a lasting mark, blah, 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 blah. Marathon remains an important part of our portfolio. We will continue to support the team as they build the strong foundation established in Season 1 and 2. It's not a strong foundation. I don't know what they're saying there. And as they work on incubation efforts for future projects. While it's too early to discuss, we are encouraged by the creativity and opportunities that lie ahead. It's probably worth talking about the Marathon PvE shit, Tony, right? Did you send something? When did we talk about that? That was Monday, maybe?
Yeah, I sent you a screenshot of it in the chat with Illuminous.
Oh, yeah. That was it. Okay, so let me go look at this thing real quick. All right, so I wanted to read this. So this is from Bungie's website. For Marathon specifically, they're introducing a thing called Vault Breaker. Marathon's experimental PvE mode, Vault Breaker. Explore Cryo Archive as a crew, duo, or solo, taking on a progressively challenging series of vaults. So this is wave defense. It's not even wave defense. It's get into a space and fight some guys, and then get into the next space, fight harder guys. Grow stronger across multiple matches with a progression that's unique to Vault Breaker. Push towards the final vault and mysterious entity within. Vault Breaker requires a special sponsored kit to queue up in any gear items you find. So it's like a roguelite run type of experience is what it seems like. I don't know if that's going to work. That seems kind of weird. But you have to use specific kits for this, and it has a separate progression system. You can't just play PvE. It's like a whole separate thing. I don't know if that's good or not. It's probably worth trying so that I'm not just speculating, just checking it out. I already own Marathon, so I might as well see how it goes. But that doesn't feel great to me. I don't know how that's going to go. So, I can report back later to you guys after I play it. But I have not played it yet. Let me catch up on chat. I heard there's a bug around raid weapons, except Anarchy, of course. Not people being able to use them. Now a forever bug. Raid exotic weapons. There's no foundation at all for Marathon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Marathon's foundation... Well, okay. I'll retract it and say this. Marathon's foundation is built around a highly coordinated and communicative 3v3 team. And you're playing against other 3v3 highly communicative and coordinated teams. So if you're a solo player or a duo player, your experience is going to be really bad. If you're in a 3-person squad and you're, training and learning how to play as a 3-person squad, you'll have a much better experience. But yeah, I think that was a really weird choice to lean straight into that and make it hyper competitive. I think extraction shooters don't work when you make them hyper competitive. There's a bug update last Tuesday for D2. What's is the bug that raid weapons are bugged? I did see something where after June 9th and they did like the final update, they were like, such and such thing is broken and not working as intended, so we just turned it off. And I'm like, that's probably never going to get turned back on again. And it was like a Titan Super or some shit like that just got turned off. So I don't know. This is probably like 2 weeks ago, so it might already be back on. And they did like a hot fix and made it better, but who fucking knows? What's up, Turning Cog? Bing users? Yeah, dude. I do use Google, but I use Google on my phone or my laptop. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Shit's all the same anyway. Just shit going into other shit. Our immediate priority is supporting affected employees through this transition. We're providing transition support and where possible working to identify opportunities across SIE and our global network of studios. I want to sincerely thank every affected employee for their hard work, creativity, and contributions to Bungie, SIE, and the blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your resilience. Let's see. 9-year run of content for D2 comes to an end June 9th, so it's already at an end. Bloomberg actually scooped it last month saying that there was a significant number of layoffs coming. It was gonna the studio was gonna focus directly on Marathon and put D2 on life support. And they had already transferred some members of the D2 team over to Marathon to help with that. The publication who scooped this, which was Bloomberg's, said that Bungie didn't have a new project lined up for D2's dev team following the final content update and did not plan to immediately start dev on D3. So, yeah, it's bad. And then all of that came with a financial quarterly announcement that SIE reported a $765 million impairment loss after acquiring Bungie, which means that Bungie actually wasn't worth what they bought it for by almost $1 billion, which is crazy to think of. Bungie's seen numerous rounds of layoffs since it was acquired by Sony in 2022. Very true. I think when that happened, there were like 1,400 people there, or 1,300, 1,200, something like that. I think now they were closer to 800 or 600, and they're probably going to lose about half of that, if not more. And yeah, so it's even smaller now. A report at the time, however, stated that the company's board structure was contingent on Bungie hitting certain financial goals, and that if it failed to do so, Sony could choose to dissolve the existing board and assume full control of the company. I expect that will happen this year. In October 2023, Bungie staff were reportedly warned that revenue was running at around 45% below projections for the year, which is said to have been attributed to poor player retention in D2. That's very real. You can go look at it on SteamDB, Steam charts. Yeah, you can see that. The numbers are very clear. Struggling to meet its targets and within the threat of a potential Sony takeover looming, Bungie's leadership reportedly embarked on a wide-ranging cost-cutting plan that saw 100 of the studio's 1,200 employees laid off in October 2023. Further layoffs followed in July 24. laying off roughly 17% of the studio, citing rising costs of development and industry shifts. So yeah, this is just going to continue until they're very, very, very thin or closed down entirely. Yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. What's up, Graham? How you doing? No Taking King dating sim. So Turning Cog, the crazy thing is they did do that. So there was a thing that we did for a couple years while I was there called Carnival. And you basically took like a week off from building the game to organize into ad hoc teams and do game jam shit for a week within the studio, which is really cool. A couple of the writers got together with some of the designers and some artists and built a like Doki Doki game where you're like solving a mystery and you can like date different characters in the Destiny universe. I thought it was really cool. It wasn't for me, but I like that someone, you know, made something within the Destiny IP that was compelling and interesting. And I remember the studio went to, they were going to release it and got a huge amount of blowback from the community, and people were mad. They were like, why the fuck would you make this? We need, fix the game. Your game sucks. And so they just didn't release it. That's a feels bad moment. Because it was cool. I thought it was totally cool. It's not for me, but I like that people made it. And it was well made, and it was fun and interesting. You got to see Shax with no shirt on. People loved that. They fixed some things. Rating counters, weapons, armor, dungeons, etc. You're roasting alive, Graham? At like a cool 90F or something like that? Not gonna lie, seeing people play DSC, EOW, and SOTP, my favorite raids, made me nostalgic. Spire can stay in the vault. Yeah, I mean, I think I did Deepstone once. I've never done. What was EOW? And what's SOTP?
Theater of Worlds?
I don't remember.
No, that might not be right. That might be from a different thing. But
96F today, bro. What are you gonna do? You don't even have air conditioning out there. Okay, Graham. I saw a YouTube short of a dude in UK, and he emptied his bins, cleaned them out, filled that shit with water, and he was just chilling in the bin in his front yard, drinking a fucking martini.
Dude, that video is so good.
It's so good. And this guy's walking by filming him, and he's like, what the fuck do you want? He's like, I have a right to just be in my bin. It's bloody hot. It's like they get into this altercation. It was fucking funny, man. He's like, come on over here. Say that shit to my face. And he's just like getting harassed by this dude walking down the street. But yeah, dude, get in the bin. Maybe don't do it in your front yard, though, because you'll catch some guff from your neighbors. If Graham used Fahrenheit, he would have AC. We don't have a bin? No, dude. Why don't you have a bin? Oh, you're probably in like an apartment building or something like that, because you were saying you're like downtown. So you probably have like a trash chute. That sucks, dude. You can't get in the bin. Yeah, you gotta get in the bathtub. Throw some ice in there. Wait, can you get ice in Europe? I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. I know you can get ice. I can't even walk upstairs in this apartment. I'm so glad to be ground floor. Yeah, I could imagine that would suck ass. Oh yeah, because you've got you have some like physical health issues, yeah? Damn, I wish my house had a trash chute. You're fat and I hate you. Are you talking about the video of the old British dude in his trash can? Yes, exactly. Dude, wait, you're fat. You came around like a year ago or something like that. I recognize your name. This isn't your first chat. How you doing, bro? I think, you know, I was reluctant to read your whole name, but I don't know. I've come around now. Who gives a fuck? I'll say it. If you walk upstairs, the humidity is like a boss encounter fog wall. Oh, gross, dude. Graham, have you ever been to Gulf Coast of United States? Because that shit is hot. Or like Yucatan, Mexico. It's like that. It's like, you know, 90, 100F like year round, and you know, 100% fucking humidity all the time. Chat up Whisper Mission in cars last time. Dude, Times don't change. You're fat. It's yeah. I'm still doing that a little bit. We were talking about Bungie because Bungie is getting chopped right now. No, I've never been further than Europe. I mean, bro, it's really fucking hot in Gulf Coast area. The month before Scourge of the Past, that's what SOTP is. Was vaulted. We played through the raids at least 10 times a week, so everyone in the clan could get Anarchy. I was a map reader. Nice. That's awesome. Was Scourge the one where you're like in the old city and you fight a bunch of Fallen and you fight like the big spider Fallen guy and he's got all the legs and shit for the last boss? Yeah, I did that one. I did that one back in the day. I'm trying to think of what my favorite raids were. I think Vault of Glass is probably my favorite. And then I really liked Last Wish. I'm kind of struggling to remember any of the other ones. But yeah, I think Bog was my favorite. Sewer and Bug Mike in the end. Yeah, the sewer run was pretty cool. The Brig. Yep, that's it. Last Wish was iconic. I agree. I did some Last Wish with Primal. So you're fat. The thing I didn't like was when they revamped Whisper and they put a Brig in there. I did not like that. That annoyed me. What was EOW? Edge of either. Fuck. What was EOW? That was the Callus raid, right? Yeah, 0 hour. They put a Brig in the end of it. I didn't like that. Tony, you like the Callus raid, the Leviathan?
Oh, absolutely.
World, big Hydra. I did EOW with you, right, Bees? I think I came back and played with the clan, and we did that. I just remember being ham. I had a few beverages that night. Eater was a fave as well.
What's the fucking moon one called?
Are you talking about from D1, Crota's End?
Yeah. I mean, it was in D2 eventually, wasn't it?
I have no idea. I don't remember if they ever brought Crota's End back.
Yeah, Bees, did they bring Crota to D2? I thought they did. Like, right after I stopped playing, I'm pretty sure.
Didn't they make it a strike or something like that? Nah, I remember doing that. You had to do some like sword mechanics, and there was a bridge, and you had to like get people across the bridge. I kind of remember that.
I don't know. It was just like peak like magic of Destiny one time when like Black Spindle came out and all that shit.
Yeah,
so good. Crota is there. Okay.
Primal's like, yeah, you definitely did EOW. Yeah, Marengo, Tony's got UE5.7, and he's like trying to mess around, fuck around and find out, as they say. Kingsfall and Crota. Kingsfall was great. I really like Kingsfall. That was such a good raid. Yes, he is Marengo. We're just seeing how it is. We said we were going to do it yesterday, so, Tony's doing a thing today and seeing what he can accomplish in it.
Yeah, I had the AI make me like I'm not trying to have the AI just like do the whole thing because I think that kind of defeats the purpose, obviously. So I had it write me like a tutorial and kind of explain some stuff so that like we can compare it against Unreal and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to get some like basic shit going.
Hey, that's game dev, Marengo. Make a bunch of stuff and only one pays you. It's just the way it goes. I'm really glad they changed the way you damaged orcs in D2. Deepstone Crypt is so beautiful. I remember doing parts of Deepstone Crypt. I don't know if we finished it. I feel like I did that with UBs. I might have done that with Tiger Style. I don't remember. I got a raid jacket though. It was the is the gray one with the gold liner on the inside. Yeah, I didn't get to do the spacewalk, Anna. I don't think we got to that. It's all good. The money came at the perfect time when I needed it the most. That's awesome, Marengo. You're still making games though, right, Marengo? I know you claim to be an old man and live in a village, but also claim to live in Miami and stuff, so. You are an enigma. We have no idea what you are. Crown of Sorrow. Yes, that was it. Thank you, You're Fat. Crown of Sorrow. Yeah, I got the Crown of Sorrow raid jacket. It was kind of annoying, but also like cool. If you wanted to get a raid jacket and you worked at the studio, you had to go do that shit. You had to do it yourself. You're Fat asking what file manager that is, Tony.
It's called One Commander.
An old man with a young soul living in a small village called Miami. Exactly, Adder. Yes. Exactly. That's Marengo to a T. Marengo, how are you feeling about the Bungie news? I see you got the silkworm, flare or whatever the fuck on your Twitch thing. Are you a marathon enjoyer? Diesel punk aliens riding choopers. Fuck yeah, dude. Your Fat's asking, Tony, if you've ever heard of File Pilot.
Maybe. I feel like this might be one of the newer ones I had looked at. Yeah, this one looks cool, but you have to pay money for this, and that is a little far for a file explorer, in my opinion. So I have not tried it. One Commander, I think, does a lot of the same stuff as that one, and I've been using it for a long time. I like it. It's definitely a lot better than Windows Explorer. I can definitely have like split windows, and you can customize this to do legitimately anything that you want. I use it very basically, but it works really good, and it does a lot of like caching of your file system under the hood. So every time you open it, it's like really fast, and it calculates all the. I know this is very small for you guys, but like right here, it lists the size of all of the files and folders that are here, and that's definitely something Windows Explorer doesn't do. So I don't know. I recommend it.
Tony, I know you have opinions about this, but Marengo's saying the AI assistant and engine can make some good verse code. I remember you were saying you use Claude external, right?
Usually, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the one in Engine yet. I was noticing this is UEFN. Definitely looks like Unreal Engine, but there's the same button that we have in 5.8 that says Ask AI right here that opens up the developer assistant. And I think supposedly this can do some things, but I'm pretty sure it's the same deal with this that I talked about last week, which is like this can't actually do any edits to anything that you're doing. It can just like have a theoretical conversation with you and like give you the code that you can then copy and paste where it needs to go. I tend to work with a different system that can prevent me from having to copy and paste and can directly see what's going on. I think that's the big difference usually.
What does the toilet do, Marengo? Marengo's saying my biggest achievement in Verse is a flying toilet.
Nice.
Can you like use it as a player? Like what's the purpose of the flying toilet? Does it butter toast? Okay, let me see if I got anything else here. I know I dumped a whole bunch of topics that I didn't even touch on yesterday, and I've been like eagerly awaiting Brightside coming through so I can talk to him about street beefs, but he ain't even here yet. The players can fly on it? Oh, that's sick, dude. Your Fat says fire? Hell yeah. Let me see what I've got here for stream. Dude, where's the channel? There it is. Okay. Okay, so we talked about Bungie. Bungie exploded. Ooh, this is one that I didn't actually talk about that I thought was interesting because I say this shit a lot, and I know oftentimes it just sounds like me just saying words, and I got strong opinions, and people are like, "The fuck is he talking about? Does anyone even like agree with him, or is there any support for his ideas?" Okay, former IDOS Montreal manager says industry bosses are much more Excel-driven than passion-driven these days. This is what I've told you guys about why AAA is fumbling so bad, because they've got MBAs looking at big data analytics and Excel spreadsheets and making entertainment creative decisions based on data, focus groups and focus testing and all that shit. So this guy's been doing this shit for a long time. And he's saying they don't have the same DNA of the decision makers 15 years ago. Stéphane Destu, a fucking French name, Joined Ubisoft in 2003 as a director of operations and PMO before moving to Eidos Montreal, where he was general manager for nearly 7 years. Other roles have included general manager at Quantic Dream, director of operations at Krafton's Montreal studio, most recently VP and studio director of operations at IWOT Games Montreal. I've never heard of that. IWOT, I guess. I don't know. In an interview with Thunderpick, he stated his concern about the great consolidation that has been taking place in the games industry, noting that past 15 years, the growth of new industry players like Tencent, NetEase, and the Sovereign Fund of Saudi Arabia have transformed the landscape. Things have changed in an abrupt way, and I'm not quite sure it's all for good reasons. I totally agree with everything this guy's saying. I've talked about it before. I think foreign investment is a huge worry. I did see another article in here somewhere that was saying Tencent was going to divest from a bunch of stuff in Western entertainment. So maybe that's changing. Just making things. I like Verse because you don't have to handle multiplayer stuff. Nice. Yeah, fingies crossed, Tony. You're still here.
I'm still here. I don't know why I'm not in my thing, but I think maybe it's like loading. I don't know. I don't know how this works.
So your fat says sounds evil as fuck, LOL. So this is the thing. It's not really evil. It's just uninformed. So you get people who come from another industry where they make a physical goods product. You know, think of a really big brand, typically an American brand like Nike or Coca-Cola, right? Obviously huge companies. You get people who have had success there and done things that have grown those companies in new and interesting ways, especially financially. And those people become very attractive to game studios and investors, so they try to get these people in there. The problem is that these guys are indexing off of big data. When you index off of big data in entertainment, it doesn't work. We know this. We see it in shows, we see it in movies, we see it in games. It just doesn't work. The reason, I think, is because players are more discerning, and players pick a good video game over this has these things in it, looks this way, sounds like that, I want to get it. It's the broad modern audience does not work in games. So the reason they make those decisions is because they're looking at all this data saying there are people here who are not spending money in this, in this industry that we could get. And if we get them, we'll have growth. So what they do is they try to cater to those people who are not gamers and get them into gaming as a hobby, which is really weird. And so then you get these games that appeal to no one because typically the industry is supported by hardcore gamers who are playing all kinds of games. They're typically buying more than 6 games a year. I think the 80% of the people, that these analytics firms are looking at who are buying games buy 1 or 2 games a year. And they play mobile games for an hour a week, at least. These are the people that they're trying to get into into their audience. These are the people that they're trying to get to buy their games. Someone who's playing Candy Crush for an hour on the bus a week is not going to pick up Fortnite and start playing Fortnite. They're not going to play the next Doom game. They're not going to play Concord. They're not going to play, Dragon Age or anything like that. So that's the craziest way to think about it. I mean, the numbers show that there's a gap and you can find it and you can get there. But they don't understand why those people aren't playing games. And when they focus on that larger number of people trying to monetize them, they're neglecting the people who play games as their core hobby. And that is only 20% of the audience. And that 20% is carrying the entirety of the industry. So that's the problem. It's just a disconnect between why people even play games and what you should make as someone making games. That's the issue, the not understanding. Retro gaming is on a vertical rise right now. I watched a vid last week about how more and more gamers are playing older games instead of newer ones. And I think the reason for that is because older games were better made. They were made for the love of making a good experience. And newer games are meant to capture people who don't play a game already and sell them a service that is entertainment, which is a problem, obviously. If the game is just good, then people are going to play it.
And they ship games that were designed to be played like 100 hours without ever receiving an update. And
Yep.
you know, they don't have to do that anymore. And then I think it really affects the quality.
Yeah, Anna, you and Queen Anne were here when I was reading that article from these, analytics firms where they were talking about capturing gray gamers, which are people over the age of 65 or some shit like that, or like women as like a demo, and saying like the industry was neglecting women as gamers. And it's like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. Why are you putting a label on that? Like, a gamer is a gamer. You're not gonna like that. That's the weird thing. That's what they don't understand. So yeah, just reducing people and the things that they choose to engage with for entertainment to a number is wholesale missing the point of why anyone would make a thing in the first place. It's kind of depressing as a casual collector, as games and console prices have almost doubled overnight. Yes, they have, Adder. Does someone like that even have a console? No, they don't. They don't at all. You're fat. They're playing on their phone. Most of these, the gray gamers that they're talking about who play a mobile game for, an hour a week, they're playing games on their phone. They are not gamers. I'm sorry. Like, they're just not. I'm not trying to be like draw an equivalency here between, gun and ball gamers versus true gamers. I think gun and ball gamers are true gamers. Like, if gaming is your primary hobby, you're a gamer. If you're just, that's what you choose to do instead of, go to a show or a sporting event or whatever, or like take your kids to the park, something like that. If like gaming is like the core hobby you do in your household, you're a gamer. So that's how I see it. Gray gamer article caused gang activity in chat. Absolutely. Gang violence, dude. I'd hold on to it for a bit. It's going to be worth big money. Yeah, absolutely. That's very true, Marengo. Yeah, I think Adder's right on that. If they do have a console, it's a machine to watch Netflix on. I mean, I don't even, dude, turning cog, why would they buy it? You can get an Apple TV or like a Roku or a Fire Stick, and like
any TV you buy now can play Netflix, out of the box. Yeah.
Comparatively, it's so much cheaper than buying a video game console. You synced it? I synced it too, man. I'm even holding on to an old 12-inch TV for that also. So, dude, I have a 12-inch and a 32-inch CRT for those things. Jailbroken Fire Stick is pretty sick. Yeah, man, any TV at this point. Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are talking about CRTs versus like a high definition LCD panel or something like that, right? Because there's like that was a very different aesthetic. I can tell you guys now. I know a lot of you guys are older. I think it's really weird that Zoomers have a fascination with like this older technology, because it's not better. It's literally not better. It's worse. I grew up with it. Like magnetic tape storage devices for media, terrible. Optical discs, significantly better. Solid state memory, obviously the correct way to go. High definition panels, awesome, until you get to 8K, which is pointless. We don't need that. 1440p is just fine. I do really want a nice old school curved CRT for our game room build out. Yeah, man. That's why I kept that. I have a Sony Trinitron, like 32 inch or 40 inch, whatever the fuck it is. It's huge. It weighs like 300 pounds. The built-in shelving got to be deep though to make it not look awkward. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, dude, Adder, that tripped me out. So I remember back in the day, my dad and I would watch like Star Trek and some other shit at night. And he had this nice like wood cabinet with the TV in it. I remembered like in my mind that TV was huge. It's like 18 inches. It's super fucking small. I saw it back in March. He's like, I still got that TV. Like opens up the cabinet and I'm like, that is really small. I thought it was much bigger. He goes, no, it's the same TV. Shit blew my mind. Like our 27-inch panels that are kind of the norm. I've got 3 27-inch panels. Significantly better display devices. Like wildly better. So yeah, what is this turning cog? You got a save icon? Okay. Oh, Tony, when I was talking about colors, I was saying like this emote that Turning Cog posted. That's what I see as like Tony colors. Like purple with some cyan on it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I could see you going for something like that. That would be dope. Like, I think the downside would be like a purple shirt's kind of weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe like a cyan shirt with purple ink. It'd be hard to read though. I don't know. You know, I believe in you. I think you'll figure out something cool that is your flavor.
Yeah. Might just ask Nick what combos we should offer. He gave me good layouts, so we'll have those going here real soon.
Fuck yeah. And I mean, I trust him. Like, he knows what he's doing. He can come up with some very cool shit. I have a PS4 and a PC when I got the money. I update my PC instead of buying a PS5. Yeah, that's a smart choice, Anna. It's going to last you way longer. Your fat says, you guys ever see the video of a guy who tracked down the largest CRT ever manufactured, something like 45 inches? It was like a quarter ton. I mean, I believe that. That's kind of crazy. That was 5 years ago. I still use the same hardware to play the games I like. I mean, that's perfectly acceptable, Anna. I mean, I never got into the current gen of Xbox. I still have an Xbox One or whatever. Yeah, exactly, Tony. All you need to play Bloodborne. Rear projection or Riot? That's crazy, Turning Cog. Rear projection sucks ass. Like, what do you mean? Do you actually want a rear projection TV? Because, like, I thought it was cool because it was a big screen, but it's not. I don't know, man. Are you just memeing, or are you being serious?
I want to say rear projections can like look really good, but they do have a ton of downsides.
Absolutely. Yep. Viewing angle is one of those. Viewing angle sucks ass.
Not very bright.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Burn-in and shit like that is also real. Okay, so let's go back to this IDOS guy here. He was talking about foreign investment has like really caused some problems in the landscape. Totally true. Things have changed in an abrupt way. I'm not quite sure it's all for the good reasons. He suggested that compared to his time at IDOS Montreal, where he founded and built the team behind Deus Ex Human Revolution, these days, the people with money and the decision power are much fewer, and their pockets are much deeper. That's very true. Plus, he added, they don't have the same DNA of decision makers 15 years ago. It's much more Excel-driven than passion-driven. And what he means is Excel spreadsheet-driven. He's talking about the numbers that I'm talking about, the big data analytics stuff that these guys are making choices, using, which is, it's just not good. They just don't understand why people play games. My Codex tokens reset at 6:30 p.m. today, and I have a decent pool left over. About to run lore through it for a front-end app, project launcher syncer, and a comprehensive UE plugin. Change lists are not implemented in lore yet, so that's a big design build out on my end. Damn, that's crazy.
I did notice there was a thing when I started this UEFN project. Like, it looks very similar to starting an Unreal project, but there's a little checkbox where you're like putting the project name in. It just says lore, and you can just check it or uncheck it, and it's right there.
Nice. Adder says we about to find out. Fuck yeah, dude. Keep us abreast of your investigation. Okay, so Dastus, I don't know how to say this guy's name, said he also believes the rise in game investment during the COVID lockdown damaged the games industry. Strong agree there. Because investors were eagerly spending millions on game development projects without considering the possibility that engagement could drop after lockdown. They were also investing in the wrong kinds of things, fundamentally not understanding what games are and why people play them. Thousands of projects were given money, green-lighted. When I saw some of those, I said, that idea was funded? Oh my God, this is bad news. Because it will take the bomb to explode at least 3, if not 4 or 5 years from now. We'll see the end results of that bad decision of this investment. That's where we are. Look at Concord. I mean, it was bad. That was a huge fucking loss. Let's see. Studio released all 3 games in the Prince of Persia Sands of Time trilogy. So this is what he worked on when he was at Ubisoft Montreal. In the interview, he says those days are gone now because game executives have unrealistically large expectations. Adder, you've talked about this, about game development these days. And with nobody in place to fight back, the result is lengthy, unsustainable dev times. How many times have I been asked to do the Witcher 3-like game with a limited budget in less than 4 years with a new team? I was literally asked to make The Witcher 3 in D2 without any tech that supports Witcher 3 gameplay in Destiny. That was crazy. Obviously, it didn't happen. We couldn't make it happen. I tried my best. I did, the quests that I made, but it wasn't going to happen. The teams were quite small back in 2005-06, and it gave birth to bigger, ambitious game, which is a logical business creative process to follow. Not having the discipline of saying no, it's what we call scope creep. Somebody must say if it's not reasonable to say no. All this is also to have proper stage gating, because this will avoid digging the hole deeper if it's in a bad way. I mean, this guy's fucking spitting. And this guy was Stefan d'Astus. I don't know how to say French names. I'm sorry. What's up, Sushi? How you doing? It's a good one though. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. yeah. We will, Adder. I'll let you. I mean, you're saying it on the internet, but yeah, we'll keep it secret and safe as much as we can. I'll let you know later once I make it. I gotta stake my flag in the ground. Good luck, man. Queen Anne, welcome. We're doing good. We're talking about the game industry news. There's big shakeups going on, but yeah, Bungie is losing all of. Yo, thank you, Anna, for the sub. Enjoy, Queen Anne. Bungie's losing like the whole D2 team, if not the majority of it. I mean, like they say the majority. I'm assuming it's like all of them, except for like maybe DevOps or not even DevOps, just operations for leaving the game running. And then some of the members of the Marathon team are getting let go. And then members who work under the SIE umbrella, which is Sony Interactive Entertainment, that were supporting Bungie are also losing their jobs. So, like, they announced that this morning. This is bad. I know several people who've already just been let go. They're just gone. I didn't get a text back, but yeah. I've had a few conversations this morning already with people. Got to keep the Ann Club without ads. Yes, thank you, Anna. Do we? I thought we didn't run ads. I think we just do a pre-roll. If we are playing ads, guys, let us know. Yeah, because we don't want ads to play. We don't stream for a super long time, so we want to make sure you guys don't get ads. And that, as LFQ put it, subscription is not mandatory. It's highly appreciated, but you guys are welcome to just hang out without subbing. Sushi said, dang. Yeah, exactly. Queen Anne said, I heard that D2 is gone, but not the full scope of this. Yeah, they just announced it today. The axe finally dropped, and a lot of people have lost their jobs. The guy who replaced Pete Parsons, his name is Justin Truman. He stepped in as CEO. He resigned today. So they're without a CEO as well. It's either going to be full absorption into SIE, with Bungie being a small brand that they maintain, but no one really working under the umbrella, or they're going to completely close it all down. It's not looking good. It is bad news, but to be fair, they kind of did it to themselves. They really did. If you ever need UEFN playtesters, let me in chat know. You can get a link for everyone to sign in the dashboard. Hell yeah. Thank you, Marengo.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get it there, before we wrap up today, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get you guys into some kind of prototype and mess around and have fun.
So get your Fortnites ready to go if you are interested.
Adder says Codex token usage is very manageable at the $20 sub, $20 a month sub if you min max. Yeah, I feel like
I've been telling everybody to go there if they're interested in trying some AI out, because Claude you need about $100 sub to really get your money out of it, I think.
Yep. Marathon wasn't doing so hot then? No, Queen Anne. So let me just look at Steam. Let me look at the Steam charts here. So normally I don't like this as a measurement of a game's performance. It's better as an indicator of health when you look at time and concurrency numbers. But there's no hard and fast rule about what concurrency means. So looking at Marathon, for the last 7 days, they've been at or under 10K at the peak, which is really bad. If we look at a month, that's when they dropped Season 2. Which was a free week at the beginning of June, and their biggest peak there was 30 something K. Yeah, it was 30-ish K, 40K, something like that was the huge peak, and then it tapers off over time over the next month. So we've only been in the month of June. We haven't even exited the month of June yet. We are this weekend, and their numbers went from 40K all the way down to 10K at the peak. if we look at the lifetime of the game, which is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 months to what the hell is this fucking website doing? I got to refresh this. If we look at all time for it, the big peak at launch was under 80K, but about 80K. And that dramatically drops off over the first month to about 40K. Then in May was when we started to hit the true doldrums of like 15 to 10K at their highest peaks. Shot up to 40K again, and then back down to 10K in a month. So Marathon's really not doing well. And the other thing that was interesting in like quarterly financials and stuff, they revealed, or maybe it was an analytics firm or something like that, that the majority of the audience, like 85% of the audience for Marathon, is actually on Steam, which I didn't expect. I expected that Bungie's core audience was going to be console players, but it looks like people have moved over to PCs in the last 10 years of Destiny. So that's bad. That's really bad. I've been seeing updates on Steam, so I assumed the new season was going well. I think it did okay, but I don't. It's really hard to tell. We don't know because their monetization strategy might not be one where concurrency matters as much. It's more about like box sales and then a little bit of MTX. Who fucking knows? We're not in the studio. You know, we're not going to know that. They're not going to share that information because it's, you know, a weapon their competitors can use against them. So they really don't want to be, you know, forthcoming with all that. It's not a good business strategy. They word those optimistically. Yeah, they do. And I mean, like, any comms from Bungie about their games is not going to be negative. That would be a crazy move. You know, you got to be like, even when something really bad is happening, acknowledging it can be bad PR. Apparently, D2 was 100K players in the first 2 weeks after the new update, but I guess the numbers will go down. Yes, they have, Anna. So let me tell you what that is looking like right now. Destiny 2 Steam charts. Okay, again, this one, you know, this from my time there made me more inclined to think that there were more players on console and that Steam isn't necessarily a good indicator. But currently, since June 9th, we're seeing peaks just under 100K, which is a good indicator, but the game is done. So if we go back and we look at a month, the big spike happened in June 9th, which was when they did that final content update, and they got up to like 170K. Before that, they were at 30K, and that's because people were getting excited about it, and they were like, hey, show support for Destiny, we hate Marathon. We go back to 3 months. In May, their peaks were around Marathon numbers, 10,000 people playing on Steam. If we look at 6 months, the highest peaks were 30K back in January. And then it just tapered down to like 10K, 15K for like 4 months straight. So that's all really bad. If we look at 1 year, the biggest peak in the last year, other than the Monument to Triumph, which is June 9th, was Edge of Fate at 100K players. All-time Destiny on Steam is 316K concurrency. So it's not good. Like, these numbers are really bad for the health of the game when you compare it to the biggest peaks. So it means less people are playing D2, and that's the problem. That's why Bungie is, you know, letting people go. Sushi said this song is going hard. Yes, I heard that it's 1 Steam to 4 console players ratio. I mean, you know, even if my numbers were still right, I can't talk about that because that's like privileged information that I could just never say publicly. Let's agree D2 Renegades was a big mistake. Anna, I think D2 Renegades actually did well. Unfortunately, I think like if you're thinking about it compared to Destiny, I think it was a compelling case for them to have spun off the franchise into other things like D2 Renegades.
I don't think the statement's been made that D2 Renegades is getting shut down, has it?
Nope.
Yeah, I think it's still going. So
people played Renegades and people who did like it.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. 360K is pretty wild. Didn't know it peaked that high. Adder, for what it's worth, the fall off was massive. It was 316K, and then it dropped to like 200K, then it dropped to 100K, then it dropped to 50K, it like over a 2-month period. But that's all very normal for Destiny. Destiny would have big content release. People were excited about it. The next expansion that did some cool thing, gave you a new raid, new weapons, all that other stuff. And that user peak would spike during the release and taper off over the next month, like dramatically taper off over the next month. And so they would stage these for like, every 3-4 months. They would try to, it was a part of the strategy to be like, we need another spike before people completely fall off. So they were chasing that for a decade. People like the story, but not the... What's the SW thing, Anna? Oh, it's Infected Mushroom. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't even have it playing. There was a time when I would do like a live audio monitor of the stream, but it got so distracting for me, so I just stopped it. Oh, the Star Wars Destiny. Yes. Dude, that shit was so weird to me. I was like, what are we doing? I didn't realize the Star Wars collab was specific to Renegades. I thought it was in all of Destiny.
I did too.
Please correct me on that, Anna. Obviously, I'm uninformed. It was just Renegades? Interesting. Okay. I mean, I thought it was really weird to do a collab with Star Wars. I did not understand it. I remember back the original Vision. This is before I worked at Bungie. Who was fucking talking about it? I think it was Joe Staten. Or Staten. I don't know how he pronounces it. He wasn't there when I was there. But I want to say he was saying it's a space opera, implying, because the term space opera was used about Star Wars by Lucas. So implying that he was making video game Star Wars universe, trying to do a big, robust thing like that with multiple acts and multiple releases and all, they had these big plans. Obviously, that's not what happened with Destiny. It became something completely different and was no longer this big space opera thing. So maybe that like the clear sign that idea was like full dead and never going to be achieved was the collab with Star Wars, which is the space opera. I always kind of saw a connection there, whether or not it was a real one. Still no bright side, huh? Anyone else know about street beefs? I was hoping he would have some opinions about street beefs and like tell me about some interesting ones to watch. Okay, so let's see. All right, Tim Sweeney said that it's very irresponsible of Steam to make studios disclose AI use.
It's very what?
Irresponsible. He's saying it's like a scarlet letter, which makes players try to kill a game if they say this is made with AI.
Yep.
Which I agree with. Okay, so this was from Valve was required developers to disclose on Steam whether generative AI was used in the creation of their games. This then appears on the game store's page with a section called AI generated content disclosure. Reportedly tweaked in January of this year to make it clearer to developers that the two main types of AI that needed disclosure are the use of AI to generate content for the game or AI content generated during gameplay. I mean, that's better, I think, because then you don't have to say anything about if you used AI tools to write code or like concept images that you don't ship in the game. I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. Sweeney's obviously taking a hard stance on this because they're they got with 5.8 some AI stuff, so he probably just doesn't want to paint that negatively, and he's probably trying to dodge bad PR there. Queen Anne says collabs are big, but like they're spectacles, I guess. Maybe I'm salty and getting old, but I generally hate them. No, I agree with you, Queen Anne. I think they're oftentimes, if not always, done in a way where the collab is a very clear attempt to capitalize on some other thing, like Fortnite is a great example of that. It doesn't really matter in Fortnite because Fortnite doesn't really have a story, like it does, but it doesn't matter. People don't play Fortnite for the story. They play Fortnite to be Peter Griffin, shooting Sabrina Carpenter. Like that's what they do it for. Do they have to declare the use of AI even if it's code? No, just clarified that. I can understand generative AI creation being flagged, but code stuff, I don't know. Is sushi like that? Hell yeah. Peter Griffin versus Sabrina Carpenter. I don't mind collabs, like cosmetics for players to buy if they wanted. Bungie did that a lot of the time, but capitalizing in Star Wars story and Destiny was weird. I totally agree, Anna. I thought it was super weird. Okay, so Sweeney goes on to say, it's unfortunate we're in this situation. It's unfortunate that so many developers are now put into this position. If you want to launch a game and get it as widely publicized as possible, you've got to put it on Steam so people can wishlist it. If you want to play it on Steam, then you have to get the scarlet letter of AI attached to your product, and now there's a hater community trying to kill your game before it even comes out. I think it's really irresponsible of Valve. They shouldn't do it because it makes it much harder for a game developer to have a chance of success. You have to choose from either not using tools that can make you way more productive and probably failing due to competition that does. I mean, I do think the piece here that Sweeney's being a little disingenuous about is the thing that we just described. If you're using a code tool to help you write code, that's very different than like the Wizards of the Coast promo art that didn't, have a person make it. It was just generative image AI. That's garbage. Nobody wants that. What's TS, Tony, in that context?
That shit.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, dude, like, yeah, Marengo, do you know, can he, like, put Peter Griffin and Sabrina Carpenter in the thing he's making? Do you have access to that shit in UEFN? Overwatch Fortnite collab boiled my blood, TBH. I mean, the Destiny one was weird as shit, too. You can play as Commander Zavala in Fortnite. Like, what the fuck is going on? Imagine saying I won't take the AI-generated medicine. I'd rather become ill. Interesting. I kind of liked it, but also wanted more from it if they were going to do it. What about it did you dislike? Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Why did it make you grumpy? They made a Dredgen Bale Kylo Ren copy and made an Empire Kingdom appears from nothing. Yeah, so like they shoehorned it in there, Anna, is what you're saying. Yeah, the way they did it was super weird. I'd agree with that. Wait, I missed something. Tony be creating a UEFN game? I mean, we talked about it yesterday, Omni. He's messing around with Verse, seeing what we can do. There's a character folder for NPC, says Marengo.
There's a character folder for NPCs. Okay. Content. So let's see. Where would I find such a thing?
Okay, so this article is also saying the things that I said about why Sweeney obviously is grumpy about this.
Sydney or Tim?
What's that?
Sydney or Tim?
Tim. I don't think Sydney Sweeney is talking about Unreal Engine. At least not yet.
She's a big fan of Verse, I heard.
Yeah, she's AI pilled and uses Verse.
I don't use the game. In engine, what did you say? Character folder for NPCs. Okay, yeah, in here. Yeah, this editor thing over here is weird. I just wasn't sure if it would be easier to find there. Let's see. Characters. Oh wow, look here they all are. There's so many.
No, Omni, we were talking about UEFN Verse. That's the replacement for BP and UEFN. And is it 5.8 or 6 that's going to be all Verse? It's 6, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be all Verse immediately, but
yeah, they were saying they're going to lean into that.
Verse first, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, Omni. That's what we were talking about.
Is this just Fortnite characters? God damn, they have so many characters.
There's so fucking many.
Yeah, and I think these are all just like the Fortnite characters because I didn't see any like licensed anywhere. There folders in here? No.
You were excited for the space game? I mean, dude, you're definitely able to go play the space game. What the fuck is Verse Project?
Never heard of it.
Multiplayer space sim offering fully immersive real-scale solar system experience with exploration, mining, trading, and faction-based gameplay. Maybe? I don't know. Queen Anne says, for me, it was just so transparently a cash grab. And since they're both popular FPSs, it feels like two corporations throwing their weight around. If it's like an anime character in Overwatch, then that makes enough sense, to someone at least. but this feels like some backroom deal gone wrong. Yeah, I agree with you, Queen Anne. It's business guys going, hey, you know how we can make a bunch of money? Let's give them the slop, you know, fill the trough with slop for the piggies. And that's the mentality that I find problematic. That's what the IDOS guy was saying about, you know, Excel-driven versus passion-driven leadership. That's totally it. They don't get it. They don't try to get it. Tony, what the fuck is going on with this guy?
It's fucking Joey Caliente, bro.
Never tell me his name. I'm upset that that's in my brain now.
Tell me his name.
Now I know he's Joey Caliente, and I fucking hate that.
I was hoping I could make him do the floss or something to like really upset you, but I can't figure it out.
Start crashing out, throwing shit in my office. Overwatch has
like, is there like a floss in here somewhere?
There's gotta be, dude. Yeah, they gotta give you that, right?
No. Emote.
Adder says Overwatch has long been a backroom deal gone wrong. I'm looking at you campaign mode that started the Overwatch 2 ordeal. Yeah, I agree, Adder. I miss OG Overwatch 2. It was really good at launch. They made a fun game. It was really cool. I get upset seeing the zombie thrashing around that used to be it. I don't blame you, Queen Ant. Marengo says you can add animation to one of the devices. And you said you don't get any licensed IP unless you use modes like Lego Star Wars Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
10% if you
yeah.
use it. So,
like, while this is working, let me explain to you guys how you get the shit going, because I thought it was kind of interesting and really stupid. So you have to go into your Epic Games launcher like you would for Unreal, except you're going to go to the normal store like you're going to buy a video game, and then that's where you find UEFN, and you install it there. Right there, Unreal Editor for Fortnite. And then once you install that, you also have to install Fortnite. And then when you make a new project, it looks very similar to the Unreal Project Maker, like I was saying, and you have the option to like turn on lore. But then where you would have like your template drop down in Unreal for like you do the first person template and you want to do the horror variant or something, that drop down had Fortnite style, Fall Guys, K-pop Demon Hunters, Lego, Star Wars, and probably one other one that I'm not remembering right now. But if you picked any of the ones that weren't Fortnite or Fall Guys, there's this like huge warning that popped up that was like, your abilities in this island will be like far more limited than if you did like a normal Fortnite island. You know, you'll be, you know, held to different content standards or something like that. So I don't know, I thought that was interesting.
Oh, I like what Sushi just said here. I didn't know this. Compared to Unreal Engine, yeah, UEFN is very limited. Compared to Roblox Studio, their main competitor, it's so much nicer to use. So Sushi, in case you guys were not aware, has experience doing that professionally, working with like Roblox Studio stuff. So I'm assuming that Sushi's like, as you know, an expert in chat who's done these things professionally, like UEFN is actually pretty fucking awesome. Is that what you're saying, Sushi? Yep. All right. Awesome. Omni, what's got you excited about this verse project? Is it just space? Because I know you just like space stuff, which is totally cool. I love space games, man. You can't even build any sort of custom materials in Roblox. You're just stuck with texture maps or the built-in materials. That's it. Jesus, bro. That's gross. Worth billions of dollars, by the way. Insane. Space gets the people going. Unfortunately, Omni, I think space does not get the people going anymore. I like space. I think space is cool as fuck, man. Anna, do you have feelings about space? I'm just curious. If you don't want to talk about that, it's totally fine.
I'm just thinking of Dr. Evil going, space was cool, wasn't it, Mini-Me?
I like it. Anna, I just like that you have such a different fucking perspective on many things. Like, you know, we don't necessarily agree, but I love that you're supportive and you still want to come and hang out. Like, I don't know how that works. Like, it's super fucking cool to me. I really appreciate it. I like people with different opinions from me. You know, you might surmise that that's because I like arguing about shit, but I don't know. I think it's good for personal growth. Like, if I'm just talking to people who only think the way I do, like, that's not good. So yeah, if you don't have a strong opinion about it, totally fine. I thought this might be something interesting. Isn't that called maturity? I guess, Graham. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's old man shit. Being able to disagree and be fine. You know, I think that matters to me because like humanity nowadays is just not able to do that, especially on social media. People just beef about the dumbest shit for no reason. It's like, dude, you guys don't even know each other or live in the same parts of the world. Why are you mad? So for me, I like having those conversations with people who are not going to resort to name calling or being like, you're fucking stupid and I hate you because you believe this one thing. Like, that's not, there's no point in that. That's absolutely ridiculous. And experiencing new things makes you grow and change, become a new person. You know, you might be like, you know what? I was thinking about some shit in a weird way. And now that I've had this conversation, like, I'm thinking about it in a new way. This is really interesting. It might change my whole, like, view on life and human existence. So I like that. It is rare these days, though. It's very rare, Graham. I think that's one thing that you guys in chat all have in common is that, like, so many different kinds of people. Oh, Queen Anne, I feel like I vaguely recall you used to watch fights like UFC. Did you get to watch Freedom 250 at all? Did you have thoughts about it if you did? No, fuck you, you're wrong. Anna says, I do like a space game. I'm an OG Mass Effect gamer, but the last few years have been playing less space games. How do you feel about like space exploration in general? I think that's what I was going for. But yeah, I like sci-fi. I like fantasy. I like, a game like Everything is Crab, and I like the Mass Effect trilogy. I don't know. I like stuff. I like different things, like very different and interesting things. And if you guys have been around for a while, yes, Brightside is here. I can talk to him about street beefs. Yes. What's up, Brightside? I've literally been waiting for like an hour and a half to talk about street beefs because I watched it for the first time yesterday, and I just assume that you know about street beefs. I don't usually watch fights, actually. Maybe it was that I used to do martial arts. I feel like you participated in a UFC conversation at one point, but it's all good. No worries, Queen Anne. Marengo hit Brightside with the Grass Lord emote. Okay, I see what's going on there.
Appropriate.
I heard recently the difference between fantasy and sci-fi is that in fantasy, big powerful thing that everyone's after is round, and sci-fi the thing is square. That's a crazy comment, Queen Anne. That makes me very mad because sci-fi is a specific thing, and I'm talking about like the genesis of sci-fi. You know, the old authors of like Asimov and Bradbury and shit like that. The reason they created the genre was because typically entertainment, especially like novels, were written either about real world events and like, drama, interactions between people, or an imaginary world that doesn't exist with magic. So sci-fi being an extra layer of that was like the real world stuff is scientific concepts and a vision of what the future could be, right? So that's where I see sci-fi being a distinct thing. So for instance, for me, Star Wars is fantasy. Star Wars is not sci-fi because there's no scientific basis for anything that occurs in Star Wars. Feel free to go crazy with that one, chat. I heard recently that the difference... Oh, never mind. Sorry, I just read that. Sure, let's find new planets for the rich to explore and limit since ours is almost there. Okay, so I was right. I kind of assumed you had that opinion, Anna. My take on space comes from being like, I grew up in the U.S. military, basically. Like, both my parents are in the military. I have lots of friends and family members that were in the military. And because of that, there are some family friends of mine who are, active in or have worked in the space industry in the U.S., including like, you know, there's a couple of astronauts that like my dad served with in the Navy that I know and have met. One of them was at my wedding and stuff. So like my connection to space is very different. The thing that I got the most excited about, like the first job I wanted to do as a kid when I was like, you know, between the ages of 6 and 8 years old, I wanted to be an astronaut. So that's why I was asking that question, you know, a little bit loaded. Brightside said street beefs, the little Florida backyard fights. Exactly, dude. I watched them for the first time yesterday. The funniest part is I watched one video and then 3 hours went by and I had watched so many, dude. The thing I learned was it's like a crackhead versus like a middle-aged or senior citizen who has been like training fighting for a long time but never done it professionally, all in like a dirt or grass field with a very hastily constructed ring structure, all set to the sounds of a car alarm going off in the background. I realized there were 3 videos I watched in a row where there was just a car alarm going off, just burp, 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 while people are just screaming shit at the fighters and these guys are like tussling in the dirt. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I do miss like the, you know, the older school shit with like the Kimbo Slice stuff where they would bare knuckle box and whatnot. But, you know, the street beefs is a lot more tame. They have gloves on rules and stuff like that. I know it's much deeper than that, but I did find that funny. Star Wars is dressed as sci-fi, but functionally fantasy. Absolutely. Tony Anna has big Beltalowda energy. When I was younger, I was an idealist and romantic historian who tried to see the good in people. Now I'm just a cynical historian who saw too many shitty things. So, Anna, on your Stoic philosophy adventure, just remember that you can always expect the worst but hope for the best and be pleasantly surprised when people do things that aren't selfish or cruel in nature. That's kind of my take on it. So while it might seem like cynical at first, I'm excited when people do cool and, you know, altruistic things, right? When they do stuff to advance all of us and, you know, do things to make the human experience better. That's when I'm like, that's really fucking cool, because I expect that no one's going to do that. They're just going to be selfish and grab money. Fantasy Western goes pretty hard. Absolutely, Adder. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. What was the Daniel Craig one? Cowboys versus Aliens or whatever? I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't think I ever saw that.
I might be in the minority, but I had fond memories. Oreos of the Wild Wild West. What is that? I don't even know what that is, Brightside.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, Oreos is a typo. Oreos. What the fuck? You wish you'd still forgotten about Cowboys and Aliens, Sushi? I liked it, man. It was fun. What did I watch the other day? They Will Kill You. I had some problems with it. I thought some of the writing was a little heavy-handed, but the fight choreography was really compelling. The cinematography was great. The dialogue was somewhat cringe at times, but I liked it. It was a good movie. Brightside says, anybody hear anything good about sand? You mean like silicate on shorelines and like, is that what you're talking about, or something
Anakin
else?
Skywalker's least favorite thing? Like,
it's like Rust, but has the giant metal spider machines that Wild Wild West has. Oh, it's like a game. Okay.
never heard of that. That sounds cool.
Dude, I liked Wild Wild West.
Dude, Wild Wild West is a banger.
It was a cool movie, man. It was very silly, but it was a fun ride. Like, you know, I'm a silly tongue-in-cheek action movie enthusiast for sure. It just got released. Okay.
So it's called Sand?
Is it This Is Sand? Sand Raiders of Sophie? Is that what you're talking about? That might be it. Yeah, this looks like it. Sand Raiders of Sophie. Yeah, it's got like walking steam engine, you know, 6-legged things. Very Wild Wild West, yeah.
Is it PvP only?
I have no idea.
Kind of looks like it. I don't know. The reviews don't look very positive right now, unfortunately. But...
The whole point of Sand, Raiders of Sophie, is to become one with your tramplers and explore a world of remnants of the luxury of the Austro-Hungarian Empire in Sophie's post-apocalyptic world. I mean, is that not a little problematic to do the Austro-Hungarian Empire? That's like World War I Germany. Intense battles with other players create a unique feeling of being really close to the moment when you can finally take what you think should be yours. The Trampler serves as the player's main base, both as a means of exploration and loot storage. You can customize your Trampler. There you go, Turning Cog. It's got player housing, dude. Interior design to upgrading its power, armor, and weapons. Team up with other players to pool your resources and create the ultimate movable base in a large open world. Actually, this might be up your alley, Turning Cog, now that I think about it. I think the PvP is probably what would make you not enjoy it. I had fun laughing along with the design choices in Wild Wild West. Yeah, I agree, Adder. Yeah, this is the Sand Machine game. Yeah. It's Sand Raiders of Sophie. I guess Sophie is a planet, and that's what they're saying. You're like on a planet with these like steam engine walking fortress things. Cog, the bacon of the community. Yep. He said his PvP-ness is small. Your father's name is Sophie? Bro, what? Brightside is the narwhal of the community. They do make things for that now, Turning Cog. You can get like Blue Chew or some shit. That's what I've heard. Oh, control aim assist. My bad. I fucked that up. That's not. I thought you were talking about something else, bro. Was Sophie a gender neutral name in the past? Yeah, I guess that's what I'm confused about, Queen Anne. Like Ryan or Leslie. Fuck, I'm trying to think of like a bunch of these.
Marion.
Yep. They got a berry named after that person.
Lynn's a good one.
Yeah, Lynn's a good one. No, I've literally said my father's name is like hundreds of things over the course of the following this channel. Yeah, I think you said your father's name was Tony at one point.
You got a boy who cries wolf situation going on over here, bro. We just don't even pay attention anymore.
Motherfucker, Brightside. Oh, what's up, AAA? Crazy intensifies. Sophie, odd, but I knew a guy named Stacy. Stacy's another good one. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. No, totally.
I knew a guy named
Kelly.
Laverne. Laverne was kind of crazy.
Laverne.
Yeah.
Totally. And Kelly.
The guy named Laverne, by the way, was a fucking tank. He was like one of the most jacked dudes I've ever met in my life. He was short. He was only like 5'5" or something like that. But he was a fucking beast. And I would assume that he was a beast because his name was Laverne. Terry is also one. They never catch on.
Terry always makes me think of that video of that guy in the wheelchair next to the fireworks that are going off. Everybody's freaking the fuck out. They're like, Terry, get out of there, Terry!
Yup, exactly.
It's so fucking good.
Brightside is calling us they. They'll say something like, you guys should check out the new Lyra project, and I'll say my father's name is Lyra. Uh-huh. Whatever you say, Brightside.
I like how you wrote Laura first.
I corrected it for him. It seems like he's on his phone. I mean, he said Oreo's Wild Wild West. So
I'm gonna name my next Lyra project.
Oreo's Wild Wild West, or just
No,
call
Laura.
Nice.
Laura.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Freckle Grove Laura.
Yeah, I don't... Queen Anne, I'm not seeing anything about Sophie being a gender-neutral name. At least on the, the fucking internet. Who knows? You can call people whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. I once was working a help desk and a, customer called in and their name was Sparkleberry. Legal name. That was crazy. Your dad's name is Street Beefs? Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, that would be a crazy name. Yo, what's up? I'm Street Beefs. Probably wasn't. Sophie's like a Greek name. I know that much. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see anything that was saying it was gender neutral. So I wonder who is making, like, where's the studio for Sand Raiders of Sophie? Oh man, they got like multiple things. They've got Tower House, Hologriff. I'm guessing Hologriff is the studio. Maybe a publisher? So Hologriff is Ukrainian. Out of Lviv. And let's see, who's Tower House? Let's see. They don't even have like their own website. It seems like this might have been a collab by a couple different indie studios, and they kind of like came together to do this. I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, cool. It's not Giuseppe? Yeah, dude, it's probably Giuseppe. My buddy many years ago signed up for a tanning salon. They asked him for his name. He said if he could give any name, and they said sure. So for about a year, my buddy would go into a random Desert Suns and ask them to look up Dragonheart to sign in. That's pretty crazy, dude. Was a great in for all the girls at the check-in station. So Sushi's saying my buddy, and he means like I used to go get tans, and you know, I call myself Dragonheart. Nice, dude. I like it. I like it. That's a good flex, man. I feel like I made Anna go away after I asked her about space. I'm sorry, Anna. I always tell fast food spots that my name is Clap. So they call it, it's Clap, your food is ready. Dude, that's so... Adder, that's such a good dad joke. You're still here? Okay, good, Anna. I'm sorry. That's such a good dad joke, man. Yeah, Adder, you better start clapping. You got to be like... Just really get into it. Almost always. Nice. I'm sure your fiance loves that. She's probably just like, oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Everyone's looking at us now. Anna, how's your school and work stuff going? I know it was a little grim last time you were talking to us about it. I want to hear, actually tell me this. What's like a happy thing or a moment in Anna's life that makes Anna happy? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about something that you enjoy, you know? If it's a quiet spot, I'll let it ride, but if there's a group of people we all know it's going to happen, fuck yeah, dude. That's so good. Okay. So... No, I'm sorry. You can also just lurk. If you're like, dude, I just want to chill, you can chill. You don't come around that often anymore, so I'm trying to make sure that you're having a good time and you're like chilling here. My dad's name is Clap. I don't believe you, Brightside. Thought you said your dad's name was Laura. Okay, so I think analysts are saying there may not be enough consoles this Christmas to meet demand. That's kind of crazy because GTA 6 is coming out. They're saying GTA 6 is going to sell a ton of consoles. Is that real? I don't... Dude, what are these guys? Who are these guys polling? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Dude, the dad joke is totally built in. You've got a lot of dads? Like, more than 3? I guess it'd be more than 4. You can have more than 3. I don't know, man. Math is hard. Senior games buyer for an unnamed retailer has told the games business that the combination of component shortages and price increases mean consoles have been in shorter supply than usual. And that while stock may be available during this relatively quiet period, the release of GTA 6 will likely lead to a situation where console stock sells out. We've been informed that because of the ongoing issues around hardware component availability, we won't be getting the units we want ahead of GTA. The senior games buyer, speaking without his employer's permission, told the publication. I mean, this is kind of a crazy situation here. I don't. This is like full-blown rumor mill. My happy moments are reading good books, doing my gardening, painting, and having healthy discussions with friends. What are you painting right now, Anna? Are you painting in like oil, watercolor? What's your preferred medium? Depends on the day of the week. Brightside is a real life James Holden. Holy shit, that's such a good reference, Sushi. Yeah, Brightside, Tony's in Verse. He's trying to mess around with Verse and UEFN and see if he can make something. So far, he's got this dude with an arcade machine on his back just floating in the air.
Yep.
I'm just playing. You're making some stuff, Tony. Good. I'm glad you don't mind the questions, Anna.
Maybe that.
Yeah, Brightside, do you have any recommendations that are like adjacent to Street Beefs but more interesting? Maybe more like Kimbo Slice era, because that'd be kind of cool to watch. Street Beefs is interesting. This is more about exploring what UE6 might be like. That's why we're taking a look at this, because I think UE6 they were saying is going to move to Verse and not do Blueprint anymore.
Can I not quit?
But UE6 is also potentially like 2 to 3 years away. RIP Kimbo. Yeah, dude, I don't think Kimbo was living a very healthy life. Kimbo also like got hit in the head a lot. That's not good for you either. And he didn't do great in MMA. But man, he had some crazy fights in those backyards, dude. Yeah, absolutely, Adder. Just geeked on fucking stimulants. I mean, Kimbo was fucking huge, man. He was such a big dude. Backyard fights were legendary. Yes, they were. They were also wildly unsafe. What was that shit called?
Fuck, I can't remember. I watched so many of them back in the day.
Yeah, I think if you were on the internet during that time, Kimbo Slice was unavoidable. I'm learning watercolor and doing coloring books. Wood MDF paintings. Nice. Oh, yeah, he absolutely did, Adder. He really did. Like, some of the fights where I was like, uh-oh. And it's just like a bunch of dudes being like, hey, you good, bro? You good? Like, slapping him on the cheek. I'm like, maybe don't do that. He probably has neck trauma. UEFN, all you need to do is make mega ramp and put all the cars at the top, add some brain rot, and watch the money pile up.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. Wood paintings. That's really interesting. Dude, watercolor's so hard, Anna. Like, I don't like watercolor. It's so hard to work with. I mean, I guess to be fair, I also don't really like oil painting either. I don't know. An oil painting can actually, like... Oil painting is very dangerous. You can get very sick. They should have rang the bell 15 minutes ago. He's still wailing on him. Yeah, exactly, Adder. Yes, there are a lot of crazy videos like that. A small wood burn machine for woodwork as well. How hard is wood burn art? Because I kind of wanted... So, like... There's a local like microbrewery in my neighborhood that I really like, and I'm a part of their club and everything. And they gave me this little like piece of wood that I can like put whatever I want on, and they'll put it up on the wall. So I wanted to like try to burn the Fractal Grove logo into it, and then like put that up on the wall. But is that like a wildly unrealistic, ambition if I've never done any wood burning? Oh, nice. Adder's got some tips here. MDF is tough for watercolor, but if you correctly prime it with a spray sealer, it comes out awesome. You can use a soldering iron with an attachment. Is that for wood burning? I don't even have a soldering iron, bro.
I have one you can borrow.
Hell yeah, Tony. Team-based PvP games fail in UEFN. Kids cannot organize and cooperate. Yeah, they just need like friend slap stuff, right, Marengo? You just turn them loose and they just, start trashing the whole neighborhood. Okay, so back to the console glut. Demand will likely outstrip supply during the year-end period because of GTA 6. I can tell you definitively demand for our console exceeds the supply. That's so weird. I would have never thought that. We're putting them in as many stores as possible. We're producing them as quickly as possible. There's a severe limitation to how quickly we can do that, but it's not a question of appetite. We need to do more, but there are constraints here, and so there are unfortunately a number of different markets in which we do not have supply. There are other markets in which we have inadequate supply. That is a privilege as a company. It is a challenge for us to figure it out. PlayStation Rockstar revealed their marketing campaign for the game on Wednesday, which has Sony declaring that it plays best on PS5. Of course Sony's going to say that. The expectation is therefore that a large number of PS5 consoles will be sold off the back of this campaign. I could see that. And a PS5 is still cheaper than a gaming PC. It is, yeah, it's the RAM shortage. I mean, I'm skeptical about that it's actually a shortage. It's probably just we're not going to scale up. We're just going to sell it at quadruple the price. I usually work with MDF pieces, which are smoother and easier to paint. Water-based paints and then burn. Oh, interesting. They sell cheap wood burners on Amazon? Prices aren't coming down. Why would they? Exactly. I hate that shit. That's so frustrating. Okay, so GTA 6 is November 19th. While its physical release won't include a disc at launch, it will... Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys were tracking that conversation. People are freaking out that GTA 6 won't have a physical disc at launch. It will still sell in extremely high numbers, including among those who have not yet purchased a current-gen console. What? Are they saying people are going to buy GTA 6 before they can even play it on anything?
Wouldn't surprise me.
They're speculating that there may be some players who have been continuing to play on PS4 or Xbox One and were planning to upgrade to a PS5 or Xbox Series when GTA 6 comes out, leading to a likely surge in console prices above that typically expected during the holiday period anyway. Okay, so I think the thing here, guys, is if you were thinking about buying an Xbox Series or a PS5, do it now, because it's likely going to be very difficult to find or be triple the price. Yeah, Switch 2 price is definitely going up soon. I started a new project today. I'm sanding, doing varnish, and new knobs for my bedroom dresser. Oh, that's sick, dude. But yeah, what do you guys think about like wood burning? Is it super hard, or should I, be able to make something like the Fractal Grove logo on like one shot and be okay? Obviously like a stencil or something. Am I crazy for that? I might be crazy for that.
Probably
Why did the guy explode, dude?
I don't know why they're just kind of randomly exploding, but maybe that's just like what the enemies do.
Interesting.
Let's see.
Okay. So consoles gonna be rare with GTA 6. Do you guys have any thoughts on Star Wars Galactic Racer? Because I think we got some game news about that this week. I know we were talking about it early in the week. One of those 3D printers would do a good job. Oh, so like you use the hot end of the 3D printer to burn the wood?
No, you just use the 3D printer to like drive like the pattern itself, and then probably just stick a soldering iron on it. But yeah, we could probably do that. I got an old printer that we could rig up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to put our company logo up on the wall in the brewery. It'd be fun. Galactic Racer looks pretty tight, not gonna lie. What are you excited about with it, Adder? Like, what's the thing that makes you go like, oh, fuck yeah? Because the thing that was like getting me grumpy was I was reading the VGC review of it. And this guy says, I think Star Wars Galactic Racer might be the Burnout revival I've waited decades
Such
for.
a weird statement.
And I was like, how the fuck is this like Burnout? And as I started to read more of it, he's like, oh, I did an interview with like the guys working on the game and they like to describe it as Burnout adjacent. And I'm like, no part of this looks like Burnout to me. This is totally random and not important at all, but the Fortnite midair animation when jumping irks me so much. Me too, Sushi, honestly.
They're just like this fucking thing the whole time. Always. Yep.
Marengo says, I think the slow-mo effects will get stale after a while. We're a very random chat, Sushi. Yes. Yeah, you're totally allowed to say some random shit. I just like pod racing, and this one looks pretty cool so far. I don't know how he got burnout from that. It's the same, dude. But it looks cool as a standalone Megascans example project with some space race cars. Yeah, see, that I agree with. Out for a dog walk, lurking. Good luck, fellas. Yeah, no worries, Sushi. Thanks for coming through, bro.
I want to put the fucking Anakin thrusters on my racing chair.
Dude.
Go in VR, dude. Oh, it'd be so sick.
Oh, the slow-mo in the pod racer game. Is there slow-mo in there? Omni says you probably could have just stopped the sentence at but the Fortnite. I mean, Omni, that's crazy. You played a fuckload of Fortnite in your day. I'll spend $70. Will I spend $70 on it? No, but I'll probably pick it up when it goes on sale if the reviews don't bomb. My aliens ride hover bikes. When you crash, it goes slow-mo. Oh, this is in your chopper game? That sounds like Burnout to me, right? Like you want to crash and do slow-mo and destruction and get like extra points for setting up a crazy like slow-mo crash sequence. I don't think any of that is in the Star Wars game. Yeah, I actually like Fortnite, but I have no one who plays it. Honestly, it was probably an addiction I didn't need. I mean, I don't know if you should call that an addiction. It's probably more of a hobby than an addiction. You weren't compelled to play Fortnite. Pod Racer game does the slow-mo. Okay. Admittedly, I've been playing a decent amount of Fortnite as a brain rot game with my non-gamer homies and have a blast with a friend group. So I'm thinking about this because, like, I haven't been playing a lot of games lately, especially not multiplayer games. I've really wanted to, like, just do some good single-player stuff. Because for me, like, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I always feel that the trouble with multiplayer games is you have these, you know, differences of personalities and different people have different goals. They want to do different things in a game. And I don't want to get into like a debate about how we should play or any of that. Like every time I'm trying to just relax and play a video game, you know? So I think for me, single player has been really interesting. I did do some more Darkest Dungeon 2 because I was actually close to beating it. And I beat Chapter 4. I'm on Chapter 5 now. I don't know if I want to keep playing it. It was fun for a minute, but who fucking knows? Your MMR in Fortnite is pretty sweaty now, which has made it more fun, I think. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I don't have fun in Fortnite, man. I've played it a few times. I can get on for like 3 or 4 sessions and then log off. Yeah. I do like gaming with homies. I really do. Like, it's fun being social and hanging out. I don't know, maybe it's just my mentals right now. I'm in a place where, like, I don't want to be social, for better or worse, probably for worse. So, you know, it's hard streaming when you don't want to be social, you know? Let's see. Galactic Racer. I was reading about that. Oh, what else did I have in the channel? Let's go see. I know there were some things that I did not mention that I thought would be interesting to discuss. Okay. Let's see. I talked about the industry boss thing. Steam Machine's over $1,000. Did we talk about that at all? Oh, I found the 10-cent article. Okay, so I want to read this. Tencent is reportedly in talks to sell its shares in some Japanese studios, even if that means taking a loss. Marvelous is one of the studios named in the report. They've invested in more than 800 developers worldwide. Yeah, it's basically everybody Tencent's got a stake in. According to a report by Bloomberg, however, the company is looking to exit a number of these investments, including those involving Japanese companies. The article specifically cites Marvelous, Tokyo-based studio behind Monster Hunter Stories. I was like, Monster Hunter? That's Capcom. Rune Factory and Story of Seasons games. One of the investments Tencent is in talks to back out of. Tencent is said to be currently evaluating its minority holdings in a number of studios, in some cases willing to sell its stakes back to the original management team, even if it's at a loss. This doesn't mean Tencent is looking to step away entirely from investment in the Japanese video games and industry. Whatever, I read that fucked up. Report stresses that the company is still assessing which of its investments still promise to be high performers. It also claims that Tencent's investment in marquee studios like Platinum Games and FromSoft are unaffected by this. It's believed that Tencent wants to have a more active role in its investments, where it essentially co-produce games with foreign studios rather than simply investing money in them and standing back in a hands-off manner. Oh no, I don't like this. Oh, by the way, I didn't get to mention our studio is working with a marketing firm right now. We got accepted into a program they run to help under-repped devs with marketing. That's been big news for us. Queen Anne, if you got any contacts, pass them along. If you got a person we should talk to, that'd be cool. But also, if you're like, I don't know, this, obviously make the best decision for yourself. But yeah, that's very cool. That's awesome. Great news. I'm surprised to hear about this big Japanese games industry shakeup. Katakawa Corporation ordeal got people pretty shook. Sounds like they want to get away from Katakawa, but disguising it with excuses. Yes, that's specifically mentioned in this article, Adder. That's kind of crazy. Oh shit, I didn't realize this. Apparently, earlier this year, it was reported that the US government was debating whether or not to force Chinese gaming giant Tencent to divest its stakes in video game companies. I wonder if that conversation is still on the table. US officials apparently had held meetings to decide whether Tencent's investment in US gaming firms pose a security risk. That's a real concern, honestly. That's crazy. All right. Let's see. Ghost of Yote sparks tourism push in Japan's Mount Yote region. Interesting. Katakawa CEO was wrapped up in some corruption stuff, and it's been causing some big ripple effects. That's what that was, Adder. I feel like we talked about that last week. Oh, good news. Since we were talking about Fortnite, Olivia Rodrigo is now in Fortnite as a playable character. Go get you some Olivia Rodrigo. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Yes, exactly, Adder. I just chose not to mention those names and stuff, and I used different verbiage, but that was definitely in the article. Let's see. So Olivia Rodrigo is in Fortnite. So I imagine there's going to be like Rodrigo versus Carpenter, you know? I literally don't know who this is. Do you guys know Olivia Rodrigo?
She's like a pop star person.
Oh, you're Adder, you're totally fine. You can say whatever you want. I'm just gonna be careful with like the words that I say sometimes. I just don't want to get like clipped or associated with anything, you know? Like if I say something and then there's a clip and then people like put the clip up and farm it because like, oh, former Bungie dev says blah. Like, I don't want to get into any of that. That's all. It's unavoidable mentioning the topic. Definitely what is going down. They're also clearing the way for homies at Skydance's new venture. Yes. Yeah, no, I appreciate you using the maiden name. I can't believe you guys said that. I know, Graham. I mean, it's different if you're saying it in chat, but like, I've already been clipped and people are like, I can't believe you said that. Yeah, no worries, Queen Anne. I mean, it's always worth a conversation. I don't mind. I mean, obviously, unless they're like, nah, dude. Cishet white male, no thanks. I have no idea what the conversation even is, and I was watching. We were talking about how there was like US government officials were discussing whether or not to force Tencent to divest from American entertainment companies, video games specifically, because it might be a security risk. That was it. That's what we were discussing, Graham. Yeah, it's not even necessarily drama. It's just like interesting industry stuff. So I think foreign investment in US entertainment is bad. Just, you know, blanket statement about that. I don't like it. Yeah, exactly. At our security risk, LMFAO. But at the same time, bro, like, think about it. If you have to use, you know, like your real information about who you are as a person to play on some of these platforms, and then a foreign company could get your data and information, that's not great. A securities risk? Nice, dude. Yeah, no, it is actually a securities risk because foreign investment was the only thing you dealt with. Yeah, I mean, I've worked for a few places that did foreign investment, and I was disappointed when I found out some of the methods behind the foreign investment and the motivators and stuff like that, because it went from like an idea that was cool, being approached in a novel way, to like, oh, wait a minute, I now have subtext and I understand why they're doing this, because if they do this, that's potential to make money from this foreign investor. And that I did not like. I didn't like that at all. Because, you know, guys, I try to like practice what I preach, like make good game first. Don't make game because money is there, you know? That's not to say you shouldn't do that. You should absolutely try to make money. It's business. Basically everything but home turf was my remit. Damn, dude, that sucks. Are you talking about like day job stuff, Graham? Are you the guy that did financial stuff? Did you do financial stuff and like game dev is like a side gig for you? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, what are your feelings on that? I mean, obviously, like, you've got a completely different culture and a different country you're in. So, like, how do you feel about the foreign investment things? Is it, I guess, give me like an upside to it that isn't just lots of money, you know? Full-time indie now, but yeah, nice. Well, you know, hopefully doing, you know, financial things got you into a place where you're comfortable enough to have a happy life and you get to work on things you want to work on, right? I'm hoping that's how it went. Okay, so let's see. Olivia Rodrigo skin has a Lego minifig variant for the Sour and Lover Girl outfits. Good for You emote has mirror breaking and flame effects. What the fuck does that even mean? There are 3 new jam tracks. Flammable sticker collection back bling. I don't even understand the words I'm saying right now. Okay, old man's gonna go look at something else. PlayStation 5 consoles taken over by GTA 6 branding as pre-orders open? What? Oh, it's like the background when you're in the PlayStation launcher is just like full of GTA 6 stuff. Names of some of her songs, old man. Yeah, word. I've been listening to The Downward Spiral lately, which is from like 1996. So yeah, that's the music I listen to. Okay, this is significant as it's the first time in the console's lifespan that a single game has taken over the startup screen in this way. While PlayStation regularly takes over the PlayStation Store tab of the PS5, this is the first time the Welcome tab is used for such a large advertisement. I mean, that's probably good money for Sony. I mean, Rockstar's got piles of cash. Rodrigo's not my cup of tea, but I know of her. That's cool. I mean, like, whatever. Yeah, I can't really think of any good reasons besides money. I mean, there's probably not any. And yeah, money fucking talks. It definitely does. Shit makes me sad. Like we need money. I wish there was a different way. This is probably like Gene Roddenberry rotted my brain with Star Trek The Next Generation when I was a kid. And I'm just like an optimist in that way. And I'm like, I wish we could abolish currency and, you know, have free energy and fly on spaceships and explore the galaxy with just like curiosity and wonder. Olivia Rodrigo did the album Sour and Guts. She's tangentially related to Chappell Roan in terms of producers and crew. Well, I also don't like Chappell Roan. The Pink Pony song is infuriating to me. Because I just don't like that kind of music, but that's just me. It's when it gets sat on for ages that it causes problems. Yeah. It's the flow of the money that matters, though. Yeah. You can't do that unless you have a lot of money, is how the world works. Yes. Yes, it does. Oh, man. Yes, it does. For what it's worth, I don't think I saw... No, I did see the GTA 6 stuff on my PS5. Because I was looking at it yesterday. Guar Pink Pony Club kind of tight. Is there a mashup, Adder?
Probably a cover.
Yeah, did Guar cover it, or is it a mashup? Because if they covered it, that sounds cool. If it's a mashup, I hate mashups. Look out, Tony, they're going to get you.
Yeah, they're probably gonna get me.
Don't let them get you, bro. You're taking off, turning cog? Yeah, they covered it? Okay, sweet. Is that shit on Spotify or something? Pink Pony Club sounds like something not safe for work. I think it's like a pretty... You know, it's not like a crazy song, right? I don't think the lyrics are crazy. It's just like vibing in the Pink Pony Club is like a...
I think the Pink Pony Club is a strip club.
Yes, but it's also like a...
But that's not very obvious unless you know.
Yeah. LGBT club, right? Like that's like...
I have no idea. But...
Yeah, exactly. Queen Anne says it's about a queer bar. So yeah, that's what I got out of it.
Queer bar, there you go.
I know it'd be better, get better tips if I left it on, but yeah, I'm leaving. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Turning Cog? Yeah, and like as an anthem, Queen Anne, I see absolute validity in Pink Pony Club. Like my, you know, LGBTQ friends are very much into that song, and I'm like, please stop playing this song. I don't want to fucking listen to this anymore. And then I'm like, yo, you guys should check out like JPEG Mafia and 9 Inch Nails. And they're like, this is very aggressive music. And I'm like, yeah, I love that shit. What are you talking about, Turning Cog? I know I would get better tips if I left it on, but yeah, I'm leaving. Oh, taking on. Oh, I see. You were implying that you're like getting naked or something. I never heard the song, but part of my brain is rotten from Tumblr. And get off of Tumblr. That's bad for you. Yeah, you're good, bro. Take it easy. You don't have to stay here while I'm just like jibber jabbering at you. What's up, Peanut? Pink Pony Club was actually based on the strip club, the Pink Cadillac. Really? See, I don't know shit about any of this stuff, man. Graham says you can't leave, Turning Cog. Tumblr isn't good anymore. To quote Omni, you could have just said Tumblr isn't good. I think it's just it's not a very healthy place is my take on Tumblr. But I understand why it's compelling. Oh shit. Brightside said Black Betty was based on my dad. His name's Betty.
You're talking about Whistling Diesel's Jeep?
Yup. Whistling Diesel's Jeep. Black Betty and Ruby. No, it's hot as fuck. Catch me inside. Yeah, Graham, do you just like swelter? Can you like get in the tub? You know, just draw a cold bath and like hop in there? I mean, I that's like the way, right? That's what you got to do? Just do like a cold shower, cold bath. I guess you guys probably don't do showers so much, right? For like water saving and stuff. Slowly becoming a rotisserie chicken. At least you'll be delicious, man. At least you will be delicious. Okay, so Adder, if you're still around, I remember we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. You guys are saying like it's definitely possible to like get an Airbnb or something in the Cotswolds for like a week or two, and then just like chill with high-speed internet and work from there. My Tumblr is highly curated with a few friends who do most fandoms or fanfics. I mean, yeah, that's better, Anna. If you're just like scrolling Tumblr, that's dangerous. Tumblr has this place nowadays. I've heard some games that got real big in their dev cycles on there. I mean, I believe it. I guess I feel like it's probably prone to the same problem that we talked about. What was that fucking indie game where you play as a kite and you fly around and you just like hit orbs?
It's like some sort of, I'm gonna go like Chinese word maybe that I can't remember. But
yeah. Anyway, the whole point of that was that this guy was like, my game blew up and it's awesome. Like I got all this support, and then he's like, nobody fucking bought it. So my assumption is that the same thing could happen on Tumblr. Like you could get something with a lot of visibility and no one buys it. That's the danger of social media marketing. Yeah, we stayed a short-term rental thing that was like a sub-rental from a nearby family-owned inn. I don't know if Airbnb or VRBO in that area. That was like 2015. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get my wife out of the house. She wants to go somewhere. We gotta go somewhere and do something, you know? Just for sanity's sake. Maybe 2013, I don't know. All right, no worries. We do have a good Destiny community in Tumblr, mostly lore things and fanfics. But as I said, the people I know and myself do a very curated feed. Nice. Nice. Yeah, curation, I imagine, is very important there. I don't know a whole lot about Tumblr, just that, you know, it's the opposite side of the coin from like 4chan is like what I've heard. So I don't fucking know, guys. Old man, you know. Old man making noises. And like I've told you guys, I spend my time, you know, my free time when I'm relaxing, not engaging with social media. I watch movies and shows. Oh, which reminds me, Pluribus was recommended to me, and I think it's pretty interesting. It's on Apple TV. I was checking that out this week. It's pretty interesting. The main character is fucking infuriating, but I'm really liking, like, Carol just drives me fucking crazy, man. But I like the premise of everything. It's really cool. Yeah, it's Vince Gilligan. Omni's totally right on that. Breaking Bad guy. That sounded like it was like a bad guy from Breaking, but Breaking Bad, comma, guy. Yeah, I like it, Queen Anne. It's cool. It's definitely interesting. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I already talked about it. They Will Kill You. Kind of an interesting, like, action horror, tongue-in-cheek. You know, Tony, if you're wondering, when I posted the thing in Dread there was a really cool scene in the Dread channel where there's like this stained glass window and they're like performing this ritual, and you see the silhouette of like one hand and then the other hand and then like the horned visage, like, and it's like moving outside the window at like the top of this building really high up. And I was thinking that could be some cool effects type shit with like yellow lighting and, you know, not a demon or Satan, but like something else. Could be very interesting. We could do blue husbando, like touching a window, you know, but it's all like foggy, so you see like the silhouette.
Definitely.
How are you feeling? You want to wrap her up? You want to do
time to wrap up? Yep.
420 time to wrap it up. All right. Yeah, that sounds good to me. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out.
Yep.
As always, has been very fun. Really appreciate you guys. Like all the conversation. People are saying good things about Exodus. Sci-fi space RPG single player will launch next year. I'll take a look, Anna. Thank you. Oh, it's got like a big fucking alien guy for the cover art or whatever and cinematic trailer for the thumbnail. Yeah, take it easy. Thank you. Thank you again for the gifted too for Queen Anne. Queen Anne, spam those emotes on other people's channels and tell them about us. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, take it easy, Marengo. Thank you for the conversation about UEFN. Adder, as always. Brightside, thank you for talking about street beefs with me. Graham, I hope you can find a way to cool down and not fully become a rotisserie chicken. Yeah, take it easy, gang. Sushi's out on a dog walk, but appreciated him coming through. Peanut, as always, appreciate you coming through. Let's see, who else am I missing here? Omni, but you know, I talk to Omni outside of stream, so that is how it is. Cool. I think I got everyone. Yeah, we will catch you guys next week. Everyone have a good weekend. Don't forget, Evo is this weekend. If you like fighting games, you want to watch that. Evo starts tomorrow. It's usually in the afternoon, I think around noontime. And then finals will be on Sunday. So they usually do pools on Friday and like semis on Saturday. And then Evo, Omni, stop it. Yeah, thank you, Tony. My dad's name is Evo. Yeah, dude. I don't even have anything. It was the gears were turning, but I didn't want to like, you know, dox you and say your name and shit. So it's fine. Last one, I sweat. No, I know you're trolling on me. Cool. Well, we will see you guys next week. Everyone have a good weekend. Check out Evo. I think evo.gg is the website if you want to see. They usually do like 7 streams on Twitch at the same time if you want to catch all the matches. It's all really fun. I'm very excited for it. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Queen Anne, congrats on your success. I appreciate it if you'd pass some info along, even if it's a dead end. You know, it's totally cool. Just you never know where a conversation's going to go. So yeah, and Anna, good luck with your crafts. They sound really cool. If you want to share any pics of anything that you're like proud of or whatever, please feel free in the Discord. Yeah, it sounds cool. I'm curious about it. So, you know, if you're like, I don't want to share it with everybody, you can DM me, you know, but I want to check it out. I want to see like what you're doing with woodworking and painting. I just love all that shit. So cool. Take it easy, y'all. We will catch you later. Have a good one. And I think that's it for me.
So